Infinity War has officially become the highest grossing superhero movie of all time. At the time of recording, it's reached the $1.64 billion mark, and is all but guaranteed to hit $2 billion. Considering it's assembled nearly every character from the MCU, and has some of the biggest moments in comic book movie history, it's really no surprise that it's Marvel's biggest movie to date. But what about all those rumors we had that fans were looking forward to seeing that never happened? Like, the Soul Stone. The biggest question most of us had was, where the hell is the Soul Stone? There were at least a dozen rumors about its location, but 3 in particular gained a lot of traction on the road to Infinity War. The biggest one that had been around for years was that it was with Heimdall. It made perfect sense with so many signs pointing towards it. The fact that his eyes were the same color as the Soul Stone, and he had the ability to see almost anyone, anywhere in the universe, with many people saying it was the fact that he was able to keep track of every soul. It made perfect sense. I mean, have you looked into Idris Elba's eyes? They'll definitely pierce his soul. Then there was the fact that his armor contains a round gem in the middle of his chest, the same color as the Soul Stone. And finally there's the Thanos acronym, where each letter represents a stone, with H being Heimdall. All of this turned out to be a coincidence, however, with a quick throwaway line in Infinity War that let us know his power came from dark magic. The next theory had it placed in Wakanda. Ever since the first Infinity War trailer showed Thanos leading an assault on Black Panther's homeland, fans were sure he was there to get the Soul Stone. The theory went that the meteor that brought the vibranium to Wakanda also housed the Soul Stone. It could have explained how the heart-shaped herbs managed to give Black Panther his power, and how he was able to communicate with the previous kings. But again, it was all just a coincidence, and they'll have to explain all that in Black Panther 2. The final theory was a little out there, claiming that Iron Man had the Soul Stone. Ever since promo art of the Soul Stone with Iron Man in the middle came out, fans were trying to figure out where he was hiding it. The 2 main claims said it was either powering his new arc reactor, or that Howard Stark somehow infused it into Tony's DNA. I don't think there's any need to elaborate on this because it's pretty ridiculous. Next up we have the deaths and comebacks. There was only one death that was rumored that never ended up happening, and that was Captain America. The second Civil War was announced, Marvel fans were 100% sure that Steve Rogers would bite the time bullet and exit the MCU. When he made it out of the airport alive, everyone knew his time would be up by the end of Infinity War. The trailers helped that rumor along when it showed Cap struggling against Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. Turns out, it takes more than the snap of some fingers to stop the Star-Spangled Avenger, as he once again made it out alive. There were, however, a few characters that were rumored to make a comeback that fans were disappointed didn't make it into the final cut. Yondu was said to make an appearance despite James Gunn saying he was definitely dead, as was Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver. These both would have been thanks to Doctor Strange's Time Stone. While we didn't get them in Infinity War, there's always a chance that this could come true in Avengers 4. Next, there was the rumor that Thanos would discover Ultron somewhere and recruit him. While it would have been a cool team-up to see, it's hard to imagine how this could have played out in Infinity War. Agent Coulson was said to reunite with the team, but it looks like we'll be waiting for Captain Marvel before we get to see Phil on the big screen again. And finally, there was Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, last seen being destroyed by Hela in Ragnarok. While Thor did get a new weapon, it turned out to be an axe called Stormbreaker. A nice nod to Horseface Thor, more commonly known as Beta Ray Bill. Now that's all for the rumored returning characters, so let's get on to some newies. Infinity War had 40 plus characters from the MCU appearing or referenced in it, but that wasn't enough for fans. So here's a half dozen more that were set to show up. Ever since we got the news that Brie Larson would be playing Captain Marvel, fans were sure she would be joining Earth's Mightiest Heroes in Infinity War. Unfortunately, the closest we got was a reference to her in the post-credit scene. While it was an awesome setup for the character, it was unfortunate not to see her take on Thanos. Adam Warlock is another cosmic fan favorite fans were hoping to see after his tease at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And with him playing a big part of the Infinity Gauntlet comic, this theory wasn't too out there. Sadly, we didn't get the slightest mention of Warlock. The rest of these rumors didn't get much traction, but were rumored nonetheless. Hank Pym was rumored to suit up as Ant-Man while Scott Lang was on house arrest. It could have been cool to see Pym next to Tony Stark and the gang, but really wouldn't have made much sense. Spider-Man character Silk was also rumored when a casting call listed Peter Parker's schoolmate Cindy as appearing. Hardcore fans instantly theorized that it was Cindy Moon. And finally, with the Fox-Disney merger announced and a false IMDb posting, we were led to believe that Silver Surfer would show up. Of course, with so little time between the announcements of the merger and the release of Infinity War, there was no way this was ever going to happen. Alright, last thing we're going to talk about in this video is false casting. Miley Bobby Brown, star of Netflix Stranger Things, was said to have a secret role in the film. No idea how this rumor started, but she had nothing to do with the film. Peter Dinklage did make an appearance in Infinity War as Etchery King of the Dwarves, but early on he was rumored to play Pip the Troll in order to set up Adam Warlock. And just weeks before the film was released, he was said to be voicing one of the children of Thanos, Cull Obsidian. That part ended up going to Terry Notary. Ultimately, I'm glad he played the maker of Stormbreaker, as he was a standout, if small, part of the film. Now, speaking of the children of Thanos, the rest of them also had big names reportedly attached to them that were ultimately false. Mark Hamill was said to be playing Corvus Glaive, Bill Nighy for Doctor Strange Torturer Ebony Maw, and Whoopi Goldberg, of all people, for Proxima Midnight. Those roles ended up going to Michael James Shaw, Tom Von Lawler, and Carrie Coon respectively. While the children of Thanos were pretty much throwaways, it still would have been cool to see such big names in those roles. So there you have it, everything that was rumored for Infinity War that turned out to be false. If there's anything I've missed, or anything you've got to add, feel free to let me know in the comments below. As always, like and subscribe, and until next time, remember, Deadpool's gonna show up in Avengers 4. Bye!